Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to Full Bore Silver Friday, February 13th. Shanghai is already closed. No trading today, nothing Sunday night, and then they're closed for Chinese New Year. Markets today ended up pretty flat. Here we are at 76.86. One of the commenters was lamenting the fact that I covered a bit of the Epstein stuff, and he said, I thought this was a silver channel. So that may have been Pam Bondi's burner account. I'm not too sure, but let me give you a quick update on the silver markets as of late. They went up, they went down, they went up, they went down, they went up back to that original point, and they ended right about here. So that's your update there. Ellen DeGeneres was on Liberty and Finance. No, I'm just kidding. We predicted this, going to be chop zone for a while. Again, market digesting that huge manipulated smash that took place. Man, is it me or are things getting really weird out there? Little line from the Joker. Great movie. The first one, at least. I didn't see the second one. Heard it sucked. But it just seems like the quickening is happening. I was just scrolling through X, and the Young Turks left-wing commentator Chunk Yogurt, I believe his name is pronounced Shink Uyghur, he's on there talking about how 9/11 was all fake, and there's no way that two perfectly intact passports could have survived planes impacting buildings and how they were a plant and everything. I mean, this guy's a fairly mainstream individual. So it just seems like the gears are finally starting to turn for some people. They're realizing that maybe not everything you see on the mainstream news is completely legitimate. So, this translates to the metal markets too, the manipulation. Somebody was bringing up the fact that during that last massive smash that happened back, which chart do I have here? Basically yesterday, volume was low. Volume was dead low on actual silver. Volume was a little higher on silver futures, but you're not going to see higher volume candles on TradingView if they're doing spoofing and wash trades. They're not even executing these trades. That's what spoofing is. You basically put fake orders in with no intention on executing them. They get picked up by the algorithms, and that's what creates the sell signals for the algorithmic trading, which hyper volatilizes these markets and creates those huge dips and drops. So I think we chop here for a little while on silver, all precious metals really, but today was an up day, so it was good to see. You have Chris Vermeulen, technical traders, talking about how we could see in his technical analysis after the huge, ridiculous manipulated smash, you could see 4,000 gold and 28 an ounce on silver. He got beat up in his own comments for that. Technical analysis, it really goes down the tubes and out the window when this is not created by free and fair markets. This is 5 or 10 bankers sitting at UBS, Scotiabank, HSBC, and JP Morgan that are creating spoof orders. This is not hundreds of millions of traders across the world that are creating supply and demand on a commodity that's in a 6-year deficit production-wise. Nothing is real about this paper price, okay? And so we'll see what happens here. Shanghai is off for a bit. Man, they're off for a long time. I think they're off, I want to say, until let's bring up the calendar here. Shanghai's off until the 24th. I don't know who these guys think they are. I mean, U.S. Congress people, Chicago public school teachers. I mean, they got to get back to work here. Volatility. Again, I think we're in the chop zone for a little while here. Rick Rule was on he did the Rule Classroom on YouTube this morning, and I really enjoy listening to that guy talk. He's just an old, crusty metals mining of all things that come out of the ground expert. He really doesn't care who he agitates, and he says he loves investing in hate. He's really bullish nickel, copper, oil services, all petroleum really. Of course, still miners, silver miners. He still holds positions of physical gold and silver, mainly gold. He was on there talking about Altius Minerals, Abra Silver, Mondoro, Atex, Amerigo, Regulus, Aldebaran. So if any of those names appear in your portfolio, go give that a listen to. I think what we've seen with the recent silver and gold price action is if you are an equities trader and you're trading in and out of this stuff, diversify your portfolio a little bit. I've talked a lot about uranium. I love Cameco. You've got some of the Sprott funds that focus on uranium. I love oil services, petroleum, natural gas, materials, emerging markets, lithium as well. There is such opportunity coming up in oil and gas. All the best stuff in the Permian Basin, natural gas wise, has been exhausted. Not exhausted, it's falling off of peak levels. Energy is needed to sustain the GDP at 3% or whatever their target is. So is copper. So look into diversifying a little bit. Of course, you're not trading in and out of your physical gold and silver. That's the mainstay of the position. But if you are in the equities, please do stay diversified, stay vigilant, because if they do smash down silver and gold, it's going to hit the equities. And I think we're in for a major stock market bubble burst at some point, which will bring everything down, even flights to safety. You know, traditionally people have moved into like Procter and Gamble, and you've even seen inverse trading with like T-Mobile and Verizon will go up when the rest of the stock market goes down. But people move into like the harder companies, high dividend payers like Altria. Traditionally, when there's a flight from overblown equities, you see movement into gold and silver. But the metals miners, those are going to get hit too, because those are low volume equities, and it's not a space that Wall Street and the big banks like to be in. Even though I did see in 2010, Ghislaine Maxwell had a $42,000 stake in First Majestic. Couldn't believe that. That came across the feed. But anyway, we're gonna had to quiet down the dog. We're gonna continue to watch these markets, but I don't think that we're going to see much action here over the next week or so. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on. Something really weird happened. I came out last night and there was a black cat hanging around the pool. And then I did a big workout with the neighbors earlier, came back, and there's a huge black vulture just hanging out on the side of my pool sunbathing. And I walked up probably 5 feet from him, and he didn't bat an eye, didn't care, didn't move. So I don't know if it's an omen. I might sleep with the FNSLP tonight under the covers. So we'll see how that goes. But I'll show you a picture of that bird. It's pretty cool. Anyway, have a fantastic weekend. Full Bore Silver, like, subscribe, share. We'll talk to you soon.